Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today we are going to be talking about my bucket list-athon at TBR. If you were not around for my announcement for Bucket List-athon, I will link that video down below. Within that video, you will find the link to the Discord, the graphics, the sign-up sheet for the readathon if this is something that you guys want to participate in. This year, I will be participating in hard mode, just like I did last year, and I'm hoping to get through it, because last year I achieved all but one of my goals that I set for the little checklist that I had for last year for hard mode, and so now I'm hoping that I can reach all of my hard mode goals with the board game, but we'll see. The first thing I need to do is tell you guys or let you in on what my community cards are and what my must-read cards are. So within the game, and you guys can get more information by watching the announcement video, but the game has two types of cards, community cards, which are tied to either your personal community, the booktube community. You could kind of make them what you wanted, and you made your own prompts. And so just wanted to show you guys what my options are if I happen to land on this little house. This first card is kind of falling apart. So my first option was dinner with a friend. Second is read a book from an author in the community. Next is post about a favorite booktuber. Some of these were suggestions from me as well. Sorry, my lighting is going in and out. Support a booktube noob. Visit a local bookshop, a new local bookshop. Buddy read with someone new. Watch my YouTube backlist. I desperately need to do this. Read a friend's favorite. Watch a movie with a friend. And cook for a friend. So those were my community prompts. Obviously, I'm not going to get to all of them, but those are the options that I will be choosing from if I happen to get a community, if I land on a community space. My must-read cards. So these are books, you can, once again, make these yourself. I put cards, every single book on here is from a series, I'm pretty sure, because one of my goals this year, what I'm starting with Bucket List-athon, I am starting in the series corner. So I really would like to focus on whittling down my series that I have open, because currently I have a lot. So the first series I have is City of Blades. The next is Within the Sanctuary of Wings. This was a 5-star prediction of mine as well. Next we have The Fury of the Gods, which this is a physical book. I just got it, I pre-ordered it, and so I have the third book and I'm excited about it, so that's why that's on there. The Relics of Ruin. This is the sequel to The Empire of Exiles. Next we have Poison Song, which is the last book in the Winnowing Flame series that I need to get to. We also have Hair of the Ninth. I just started this series, and so this is the second book in the series. Monstrous Nights is another one. This is the second book in the series. I'm not sure what the series name is, but the first book is Foul Days. I also have Ludluda. This is the second book in Gog Magog. I also have The Death of Dulgath. This is the third book in the Rhaenyra Chronicles. We have Paladin's Faith. This is the fourth book in the Saints of Steel series. The Burning Page. I am embarrassed that this is still on my TBR because it's been on 3 TBRs so far, but it's in the Invisible Library series. And then I have Love Will Tear Us Apart, which is the third book in the Stranger Times series. So all series reads that are possible for that must-read card. So we'll see what I end up getting. Just to review some of the things before I go into my roles that I'm going to have to do in order to achieve hard mode or success in hard mode. I have 10 roles that I have to do originally, unless I have an additional role added on either by the board or by repeating a color 3 times since I'm doing hard mode. And then I also have to visit all 4 corners. When I originally made that rule, your starting corner that counts as visiting that corner, so you really only have to visit the 3 others, but I'm gonna make it a rule for myself, and you could do the same if you wanted to, that I have to make it back to that series corner as well. And then lastly, I do have to make sure that 50% of the reads that I am going to be reading in the month of November are series reads. So I will recount that at the end. I also was going to talk to you guys about a buddy read potential depending on the books that I get on this TBR. At the very end of this video, I will have a portion that you guys can vote on a book that you would like to join me on, and so the one that gets the most votes will be the one that I will put as a buddy read within the Discord, and we can discuss that book. And I'm going to try and give you 3 options depending, and so I might add a book or two if they don't end up fitting any of the prompts. I might just add some that you guys could potentially vote on if there aren't any good options in my TBR. I also, if you guys don't like the one that ends up being chosen and you would like to read any of the other books that pop up on this TBR and, you know, talk with me about them in the Discord, I would be happy to chat with you guys. And with that, let's see what my first role happens to be. So I've decided to play as Wit today, if my camera will focus. Hopefully he'll give me a little bit of luck. This might be a problem. So we have a 5. So I can either go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could even go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that would hit this corner. So that might be what I do. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna have a friend wreck. So I ended up landing on Friend Wreck. I ended up going past life, so that covers one of the corners that I want to visit. And I did actually reach out to Rainy. Rainy from Rainy Blue Reads is hosting her own readathon in November called Winterathon, and I am participating as an official sprinter for that readathon, so I am going to be kind of combining 2 readathons, part of Bucket List-athon and then also Winterathon. I'm going to try and get at least 1 bingo from her winter bingo board, which I'll post an image of it right here. So you guys, I'll also link the announcement video for Rainy's readathon, so if you guys are interested in doing the winter bingo board, you can participate there as well. So I will talk about at the end what my bingo might be, because I'm going to try and do that within my TBR so I can kind of double up. But that's why I ended up asking Rainy for a recommendation, because I wanted to talk to you guys about Winterathon. I just thought it was a perfect opportunity. So I reached out to Rainy and asked for an audiobook recommendation because that is something on the winter bingo board. So Rainy got back to me, and I will be reading Ring Shout, which has been on my TBR for a really long time. I can't say exactly what the synopsis is. I know that it's horror, and I know that it's about the KKK, and I'm pretty sure there's like some fantastical elements thrown in as well, but it's won a ton of awards and I've heard really good things about it, so I am excited to finally be getting to it. Okay, roll number 2. And that is another 5. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Or I could go back up to series, which I probably don't want to do. No. I did. Okay, I think I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go for a backlist author. This will help me meet my series goal, maybe? My second role was backlist, and I'm not gonna be reading a series for this one, so sorry to let, you know, my past me down. But I am going to be reading a book that I have wanted to read for a while, which is To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. I put this on a TBR a couple months ago, and I just didn't get around to it. And it is very short. It's Becky Chambers. I have no idea what this book is about. I know it's sci-fi, and I've liked Becky Chambers in the past. So backlist author, I want to read more of Becky Chambers' works. Okay, next roll. Oop. It's a 4. No, don't eat it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going for that physical TBR corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 5-star recommendation or 5-star prediction. My third roll ended up landing on 5-star prediction, getting closer to that physical TBR corner. For this, I'm going to choose Monstrous Nights, which is the second book in the Foul Days series. I am really excited about this. You follow a witch in the first book. I won't talk about what the second book follows, but in the first book you follow a witch who has lost her shadow. She's essentially gambled it away, and her shadow is what makes her a witch. And so you follow her trying to get her shadow back. She is living in a city that is plagued by monsters. There's 12 days out of the year, starting at New Year's and going 12 days past then, where monsters can kind of do whatever they want to the town. It was a lot of fun, and I definitely think that this has 5-star potential. Next roll. Does not want to focus on my die. There we go, 3. So I'm going to cross over the physical TBR, and that's going to cross out that corner for me, and I landed on must reads. So my must reads, we're just going to pick one of these cards. I'm going to shuffle them real quick, and we're going to do this one. Ludluda. I did get a must-read card for my 4th roll, and I will be reading Ludluda, which is the second book in the Gog Magog series, which is lovely because it actually comes out on December 6th, and so I have a NetGalley arc, and that means I can actually read it prior to the publication date. If you guys haven't heard me talk about Gog Magog, you follow a character named Katie, who is an elderly woman who used to ferry people across the river Nisus to the city of Ludwich. And it's pretty dangerous because the river is haunted by the ghost of a dragon, and so you end up going on this journey across the river through these different body parts in this massive world that has all these different types of characters and races of people. And yeah, it's a very unique story. And with that, I did pass my physical TBR corner, so I just have 1 corner left to visit, and then I'll be heading back to the series corner. Okay, next roll. We have a 1. So I can either go to physical TBR or I can go to number generator. So I think I'm gonna go back to physical TBR and choose a physical read. So I did end up hopping back to the physical TBR. I just ended up liking that better than, I think it was the number generator was the other option I had. And I do have a series on my physical TBR that I want to finish. So that will be Fury of the Gods. It is the 3rd book in the Bloodsworn saga that I have right here. They have like massive dragons and wolves on the cover. It's just amazing. If you haven't heard of the Bloodsworn saga, you are set in a Nordic environment. You have 2 main factions of people who are clashing or starting to clash in the first book in a massive war that does have certain things to do with these gods that have been long dead, but the bones of the gods do carry with them some of their magic, and some of their magic also lives on in some of their descendants and their people. And it's just, it's a really interesting, very epic series that I can't wait to figure out what John Gwynne has in store for the finale. Halfway there. So that is a 3. So that's going to put me at the community posts. And we'll shuffle these. And we'll choose this one. Buddy read with someone new. Next, I got a community prompt that tells me that I need to buddy read with someone new, and I actually already know what I'm going to be doing for this because someone in the Discord reached out. I will be reading City of Blades with Rod, and I can't be more excited to continue with this series. This is the 2nd book in the City of Stairs I don't know what the series title is, but the first book is City of Stairs that I read for Battle of the Booktubers. And the second book in this follows one of my favorite characters from the first book. In the City of Stairs, you are set in the city of, I think it's Bulakov, which is a city of dead gods. And it's been taken over by some surrounding nations that have more power than they do now that their gods are dead. And a diplomat from one of their oppressors ends up dying early in the book, like first couple pages in the book. And someone from the oppressors is coming in to investigate the murders, and they think that she is just a diplomat, but she ends up being a very renowned spy that has some secrets that you find out along the way. It is very political. I love the worlds that Robert Jackson Bennett creates, and so I can't wait to get back into this one. We're on our 7th roll. And another 3. So I'm gonna go over new release. That means I've gotten all 4 corners. So next I got Hyped Read, and I did cross over the last corner, the new releases corner, so now I can start heading back to the series corner. For this one I chose When the Moon Hatched, and I will be buddy reading this with Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading and with Nell from Nell Diamond. I don't really know much about this other than the fact that it involves dragons. I did start this on audio a couple months ago and I just couldn't follow it, so this time I will be reading it with an ebook. But I did like the writing, and I do think it might be a premise that I'm interested in. We don't have any additional rolls yet. Fingers crossed we don't get there. So here's our 8th roll. Oh. And that is a 1. I'm actually going to go back to a Goodreads nominee because I do like reading from the Goodreads Choice Awards. So that's going to be my pick for that one. And I'm going to try and get back to this series corner. This is a 3. So it actually doesn't matter where I go. Oh, maybe I guess it does. So I can either jump over here to my must reads. I can go up here to number generator, or I can come here to favorite author. I thought that this was going to be, if I had to come over here to must reads, that would be an additional roll. But I could come up here to favorite author if my goal is to get back to my series. So I think that's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go up to favorite author. Okay, my 8th and 9th roll I wanted to put together because for my 8th roll, I don't really have a book for you guys. It is a Goodreads nominee, and I would like to pick a Goodreads nominee from the 2024 releases, which I don't know those yet because they're not released yet. But if not, then I will choose a nominee from another year, but I would like to do a 2024 nominee. So that spot I'm leaving open. But the 9th roll, I got a favorite author, and for this I will be returning back to T. Kingfisher's works and reading Paladin's Faith, which is, I think, the last book in the Saints of Steel series. It is the 4th book, but I don't know if it's actually the last one that will be in the series. This is a fantasy romance horror series that follows, each book follows a different paladin of the Saint of Steel. The Saint of Steel has passed away, and so these are paladins with a dead god. There's lots of dead gods on my TBR. But I really enjoyed the first 3 books in the series. I think the 3rd book was probably the weakest for me, but the banter of the romances that are within each of these books is absolutely phenomenal. They follow the kind of weird murders that are happening within this kingdom, this kind of downtrodden kingdom, and the couples end up having unique skill sets and unique things about them that help them solve these mysteries in each of the books. So this is our 10th roll, which is the last roll that I'll need, unless I have an additional roll that has to be tacked on. But I do want to visit the series cloud. I know I started there, but I would like to visit all 4 of them, not just start there. And so I might add an additional roll depending on what this 10th roll is. So we'll see. Let's see what we get. Okay. This is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I might do that. Okay, so I'm gonna go to 5-star read, and that does mean that I have an additional roll. but that's okay because I want to get back to the series anyway. So I have another 5-star read that I have to pick up. My 10th roll is another 5-star prediction. For this, I am going to put The Burning Page on my TBR. Once again, this is the 3rd book in the Invisible Library series, which is about a library that is essentially a portal world to a whole bunch of different universes and dimensions, and they collect and keep safe the artifacts that make these worlds who they are. And you follow Irene, who is a librarian. She works for the library protecting these things, obtaining artifacts to take back to the library, and her companion, who you learn some things about throughout the first couple of books that I won't say, but each book does follow its own mystery, and I've really enjoyed the characters and the dynamics of, there are like dragons and fairies and vampires and ghosts. There's a whole bunch of different supernatural creatures that come into play within these narratives. Okay, hopefully this is the last one. We got a 5. So, and that does put us 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna pass over and finish a series, which is a perfect ending prompt for me. I did have an additional roll because I ended up hitting that burgundy color 3 times. And so my final roll, my 11th roll, ended up being finish a series, which I think is actually just the perfect finishing place for me for Bucket List-athon. And I am going to choose Within the Sanctuary of Wings, which is a memoir of Lady Trent. It's the very last book in that series, and it's just a series that I've absolutely dearly loved and can't wait to finish. If you haven't heard me talk about this, Lady Trent is a studier of dragons, and each of these books, these are her memoirs of all of her different adventures, and each one follows a different dragon in a different community that she gets to know. They are lovely, cozy reads with some science mixed in. I absolutely love her personality, and I can't wait to figure out how Marie Brennan decides to finish out this series. So with that, the last order of business that I have for you guys is for you to pick what book you are most interested in buddy reading. So I have 3 books, 2 of them are from my TBR and 1 I'm just throwing in to give you a 3rd option. You guys can vote on this on my community tab. So I will have a little poll for you guys to vote which one you would prefer to read with me over on the Discord, and then we will have a separate channel within the Discord that we can discuss this particular book. I tried to choose books that were not from series, or if they are in a series, they're the start of a series, because that way more people can join along. So the 3 books that I'm choosing for you are Ring Shout, To Be Taught If Fortunate, or Rewitched. So Ring Shout and To Be Taught If Fortunate were both on my TBR, so I will definitely be reading those books. But Rewitched is a fantasy romance, I think it's a new release fantasy romance that I think is really cute that I do have access to in the month of November. And so I thought I would throw that option out for you guys if you're interested in that too. So don't forget to go and vote in the community tab. Whichever one wins will be the one that we focus on as the main buddy read in the Discord. But once again, if you guys are interested in any of the books that I've mentioned here and you want to buddy read them with me and just talk with me in the Discord about what you think about the book, that's absolutely fine. I also forgot, I meant to also tell you guys about Winterathon and which bingo that I ended up getting with the books that I've predicted that I will be reading in November. And I will put up the graphic along with the bingo that I ended up getting. So, and I'm gonna try for more than one, but this is the one that I absolutely will achieve if I read all of my TBR. And that is over 100 or over 400 pages, which will be The Fury of the Gods. A 5-star prediction, Monstrous Nights. I actually had 2 of those on my list, so I could count either one. Start a series, When the Moon Hatched is the start of a series. And then an audiobook rec, which is Ring Shout. So, and then of course a free space, but that'll be my one bingo for Winterathon. Hopefully I can get more than one in there, but if you guys are interested in that, don't forget the links to the Bucket List-athon announcement and the Winterathon announcement are in the description down below. Please let me know if you guys are participating in either of these readathons. Let me know either in the Discord or in the comments down below what your roles were if you are playing Bucket List-athon. What book are you most excited to read in the month of November? I would love to chat with you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.